Iran has fired missiles at an American airbase in Qatar. It's in retaliation to U.S. strikes on several nuclear sites in Iran over the weekend. Witnesses say they saw and heard explosions over Doha. Qatar says it intercepted Iran's missiles and has condemned the attack. My next guest told my colleague Deanna Sumanek-Johnson yesterday that he thought this retaliation might happen to discuss Iran's decision and whether or not this could lead to a full-scale war in the region. I'm joined by Daniel DePetris. He's a fellow with Defense Priorities, a think tank based in the United States, and he joins me now from New Rochelle, New York. And Daniel, appreciate you taking the time again. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
What did you make of this retaliation by Iran?
Well, to be honest, relief is the word I would use. There was speculation about how the Iranian response to President Trump's decision to bomb their nuclear facilities over the weekend may have been more widespread and expansive than it turned out to be. As from what we know from media reports over the last 2 or 3 hours, the Iranians kept their retaliation fairly limited. It was a highly choreographed attempt to essentially get the Americans to pay attention to them. The Iranians retaliated in a way they saw fit, and one hopes that the president of the United States does not choose to retaliate in response and instead chooses to de-escalate this entire situation.
So, Daniel, tell me about what your gut is telling you, if that's what it is, or your insight based on, do you think this is it in terms of Iran's retaliation, and what do you expect Donald Trump to do?
Well, I certainly hope. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you with 100% certainty that the Iranians are done with their response, but my hunch is that they're finished. They made their point. The Iranians wanted to respond, needed to respond militarily to the United States, but they wanted to do it in such a way that did not provide Trump and his administration a justification to escalate the war beyond what it has been over the last week. And I think the Iranians accomplished that. Right now, Trump has a decision to make. It's does he take the response that the Iranians have given him and call the quits, saying we're done with this round of fighting, let's get back to the negotiating table if it's a possibility? Or does he step up further and escalate it to a level that would be disastrous for the region writ large? I hope the first scenario is what he's choosing to do.
And tell me what you think is, I know we all try and do this to try and get into the president's head, but these are very important decisions that are being made. What kind of considerations do you think he is making right now, whether it's based on intelligence, whether it's based on political considerations?
Well, I think it's all of the above. Politics is always in the back of the president's mind. Right now, he's essentially kept the Republican Party behind him. There was some consternation among some wings of the Republican Party that didn't necessarily approve of what Trump did over the weekend, but he's managed to consolidate his support, and that was expected. I think in terms of intelligence, it's difficult to say because we still don't have the full battle damage assessment from the Pentagon yet. There's speculation that the site at Fordow, at Natanz, and at Isfahan were hit pretty considerably, but we don't know the extent to which the Iranians still have an enrichment capacity and whether they can still produce centrifuges. So we still have to wait and see as that information rolls in.
Did you think this attack on Saturday was necessary?
No, I didn't. I think it was probably a smarter play for the president to actually give negotiations with the Iranians a little more time. And more importantly, I think the president should have sacrificed his original position, which was the Iranians can't have any enrichment capacity on Iranian soil whatsoever. The Iranians are not going to support that, and they're not going to consider that. So the diplomatic route is far superior, in my mind, to a military operation that at best delays the nuclear program.
Why do you think he ordered the attack?
Well, I think the Israelis convinced him that it was absolutely necessary to get under these underground bunkers at Fordow, where Iran's very advanced centrifuge machines were spinning. The president believed what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was telling him, and decided to make a judgment call about assisting Israel in the military operation. We are where we are. I would not have supported that decision if I was in the White House advising him. But now, the decision that Trump needs to make is, do we de-escalate now and try to get back to a reasonable off-ramp, or do we escalate even further to the point where diplomatic solutions become even more impossible to find?
How dangerous would you characterize this moment?
Dangerous. It could be potentially dangerous. The United States is quite exposed in the Middle East. We have 40,000 troops there. We have approximately 20 bases around the region. Many of them are, within range of Iranian short-range and medium-range ballistic missiles. So, this is a situation that the Pentagon I'm sure is looking at extremely intensely, as is the National Security Council and the president's advisors. If the president doesn't make the correct move here, potentially dangerous could turn into extremely dangerous, and that's why I hope I hope Trump makes the correct decision and finds an off ramp, and it's available.
Daniel, appreciate your insight and your time very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Daniel DePetris, he is a fellow with Defense Priorities, an American-based think tank, and we reached him in New Rochelle, New York.